Everybody Orange podcast bad. This is a pop-up edition on a Thursday that we don't normally do. I had a peeve that got petted online an hour or two ago. This person, this account, I'm not going to name it because that's not what we do here, posed a question that said, it was two answers
Right.
you could choose from. Who has inalienable rights? Americans or everybody? And my response, some of you might be able to figure out, was probably different. I didn't answer the question, I just commented. That's where I want to start. Who has inalienable rights? Anyone want to go?
Human beings.
Really?
We all do.
Well,
We all do.
according to Tim
No.
Kaine,
But
you only have the rights that the government wants to give you.
All right, so my response was that's a trick question.
correct.
Because human beings have inalienable rights given to them by God. But, and I put the but, there are millions of human beings that don't believe in Christ the God, who
Right.
therefore don't have inalienable rights given to them
Uh-oh,
by
frozen again.
Christ the God, and therefore also don't believe in serving or being under the leadership of the leaders that God put in charge of that nation. And she came back and said something, and
Yeah.
I said, why do Catholics always believe that everybody should be open borders and accept everything that comes to them? No, they don't have inalienable rights. They don't even know who Christ is.
Well, I got to back you up there for 1 second. When I said we all do, we all do. You can give up those inalienable rights to the government, but you've given those up. You did that on your own accord. So, or the country you chose to stay in, and where you want to, go or be in, that's up to you.
Anyone else have some wild thoughts on
Well,
what I just
I would say
proposed?
that I would say that Sean, I believe you and I are on the same page. Those that acknowledge Christ as King have the inalienable rights given to us by the Creator.
Right.
But many of us don't claim them. We think we know better, which is I think the ancient the Brits called that hubris. And man, we got so much hubris going going around right now. Ye shall be as gods. I mean, Tim Kaine's. I'm going to go back to it. His little dog and pony in that committee today was one of the most disgraceful things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
You're going to take what we give you. You have rights because we say you do. What if you say we don't?
Well, it's so I followed this account for, I don't know, a couple of years. I've just been interested in this account's journey. They switched from Christianity to Catholicism. They have adopted libertarianism. And there
All
was
right.
nothing wrong with following this account or interacting with it. But like when this came up today, and I was like, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. Not every human being has inalienable rights. And I explained why, right? And I was like, why? And then I asked the question, why do Catholics who also put a man in between them and God believe this specific thing that all of earth has inalienable rights?
Yep.
Well, I mean,
No.
I'm sorry, but Pope Leo is a disgrace.
Yeah.
As he's already proven. I mean, he is a more polished version of the apostate Bergoglio. And the Catholics are continue to be in deep shit. And I know they have this communitarian impulse, and they have proven as parts of the electorate in the United States and New York City and other places that when the shit really starts to hit the fan, all of a sudden they find religion. But my question is, why does it take facing tyranny for you folks to find your nuts and to claim the rights that God gave you? All right? Why? Why are you waiting for the mega church or the Holy Mother Church, whatever the hell it is, to tell you what you believe or what you got? It's nuts. It really is nuts. And when I've mentioned in the past, and I'll say it again, my stories never change. That's one thing that Paul likes about me. He can just like close the turntable and he knows what he's about to get. But guys, Catholics have been an easy mark for the left. They really have. They've got this communitarianism thing going, and the brotherhood of man. Everybody will be a king or whatever the hell. No, no, absolutely not. This is about the individual's relationship with the deity, and the idea that somebody in government, once again,
Yes.
yeah, government, government, the separation of church and state is not to keep religious people from governing. It's to keep political people from co-opting religions and ideology and oppressing people, saying that they're speaking from the Most High. And the idea that this clown, that's what he is, he's another clown, is going to make us accept transgenderism is nuts. It's nuts. And the American Catholics really have their job cut out for them, and it goes against the grain of what they've always done.
Well, and
Well, you make
so my thought on that, and I really want to engage Paul here just to make things all kinds of fucking weird, but is that
That's where you
the
go. Yes.
that the Catholics themselves, I'm not mad at them. I'm not. They believe what they believe, but are also not Christian. And Paul, I got to get you in here. So back to the original question:
Right.
who has inalienable rights? Americans or everybody?
No, Americans. And it's spelled out that way. If you look it up, well, they don't say Americans. It says citizens
Hmm.
have inalienable rights. If you're here illegally, you don't. It's plain and simple.
I I don't get Paul. I don't get the Catholics with this. Every human has rights and inalienable rights, and they should be allowed to have those rights under the American Declaration of Independence and the 20, I don't know how many, 7 amendments we have when they're not citizens.
Do you think that Tim Kaine is familiar with the Constitution or the Declaration of
I
Independence?
don't think Tim Kaine
No, I think the
cares.
only thing Tim Kaine is familiar with is truck stop rest areas.
Yeah. And by the way, there is footage
a good
and
one.
also cell phone monitoring of Tim Kaine, Paulie Pelosi, and Hammer Time DePape in bathhouses in San Francisco. That's Tim Kaine. And now you
Yeah, I
understand why
agree.
he was Hillary's running mate. He's perfect for her. He's an
Oh yeah,
absolute traitor. And the only
I
one
still have
worse
to.
than him might be Mark Warner. And I said it today and I'll say it again. They're the worst two senators east of California. They really are. I mean, they're not worse than Schiff and Jose Padilla.
No,
or Jose, can you see? But the fact is, but the fact is, those two guys are a fucking
Dude, you gotta
disgrace.
stop, man. You got
Edward. We haven't done this much. Well, maybe in episode 1 or 2. Can you just give a 3-minute breakdown of how close Catholicism is to the Muslim religion?
Oh God, we haven't done that in a long time. You're right.
Yeah, great
But
shirt,
yeah,
by the
they
way. Edward, go ahead.
pretty much copied each other. Yeah, no, they have pretty much copied each other from the dress, from the burqa to the habit. Almost identical there. All the dark clothing and
Never thought about
required uniforms too. So they have that, and their faith. Again, they're not putting it into the one entity or being they're supposed to. It's everything else but that. And you know what? We get back to that. Buying your way out of Hades or hell or purgatory with money. I mean, that is got to be the most bizarre thing. Not just Catholicism, but any religion can believe in. Money should not be, your hero, your go-to make things safe and good again. It's got to be of the God, what we really put our faith into, and none of those do. And what's even
right.
more striking about the two, none of those two religions have at the core of its teachings the word love. That was the one thing they had to spread in the world was love. Teach it, walk it, and everything. The one thing they all follow laws, no love. And you know what? The spirit and love and whatnot is the one thing that Christianity has that no other religion does have. Everything's done by yourself. You can do this, you can do that, you can do everything you want. But no, we know we need help from that one being, or we're not going to get through this. And we won't get through this without that. And that relationship is what saves us. That's our saving grace through that love, the conviction, first off, but the love and the faith, but that we have placed in our Lord, not ourselves, not humanity, not this worship today, secular humanism of the humans are the greatest and we're all this and we're all that. No, we're not. We're a fallen race. We have a fallen nature. No one wants to seem to come to terms with that fallen nature that every one of us still has. But anyways, that's basically the 3 minutes of what you talked or what you asked for. That's the commonality between the two.
So let me ask this: outside of Christianity, look, there's bad preachers, there's bad churches. They're all humans. Those things happen. Outside of actual Christianity, though, is there another religion that should have inalienable rights?
No, I can't
Anyone
think of one.
else? Anyone else?
Well, man,
I know. I told you I was dropping a fucking bomb tonight.
you're dropping a
You
fucking
did.
bomb, son.
No,
I
what
gotta
you thought?
ponder this a
What you
minute because
thought?
I'm gonna say something
Oh,
I
No,
don't
just
mean.
let it dribble out. Look,
Sean.
no harm, no foul. Even if you disagree with where I'm coming from, this is the conversation that sparked in my mind for
Well,
all of
Sean,
you.
if you want to go back to the very taproot of all of this, Jesus Christ did not start Christianity. He was a Jew.
Well, how do you mean?
He got
Yeah,
crucified. He was killed on the cross, and
right.
the resurrection, all the rest of the things that we pray about and believe in. But Saint Paul started Christianity.
Yeah.
Well,
Wait, yeah,
in a very
yeah.
bizarre,
I would look
The
at
in a
road to
very bizarre.
Paul.
Damascus, the revelation, the scales
Yeah.
fell from his eyes, and then he saw everything. All right. And his
But
mission was to evangelize the world and bring them to the Christ child. All right. And he did a remarkable job, even all the way to the end, because he knew when he went to Rome, he knew he was going to get beheaded. I mean, that's what happens, right? I mean, you say Catholics and Muslims. I mean, you
Yep.
lose your head. I mean, that's
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 true.
the end game. But he also
Yeah.
knew that in Rome you had roads that went everywhere, and he knew that word of what he was preaching would spread everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
that's why he made the sacrifice. Sacrificed his own life in much the same way that the Christ did to universalize the religion. And
Okay.
that's why Paul is the man.
I got to back you up on that one though, because that's not really, Paul was the greatest convert in the Bible, I'd have to say,
Yeah.
because he was the Jew of all Jews, the lawmaker of all lawmakers. He was, as he points out to us, he was from the tribe of Benjamin, the favored son. He was so many things that
Edward, what did he convert to?
Judaism has as far as following the law goes. I don't want to get lost in that right now, but the greatest convert, because Paul was killing Christians. That was his job.
Yeah.
All these dissidents he was killing
And he
because you had to
converted.
follow the
But
law
Edward,
too. So, but
what
yeah,
what did
but
he
remember, on the way to
convert to?
Damascus,
There wasn't
Christianity
anything to
with the
convert
other
to. He started it.
yeah, no, no, there was Christians already before him. He was persecuting the church
Really?
first, and that's why the Christians were afraid of him.
Well, because Paul was still a
He
Jew.
was, yeah.
Paul was still a Jew. He
Yeah.
was not converted to New Testament Christianity.
That's right.
yet.
Yeah.
On their
God damn it.
St. Paul, listen, Muhammad started.
Am I frozen? Or are you frozen? Everyone's
Muhammad
frozen.
started Islam. All right, the
No,
Buddha.
wait, time out. We got Edward back. Paul
Right.
was still a Jew. That's where the conversation broke up, Edward. He did not have yet converted to Christianity into the New Testament at this time that we're talking about. He was still a Jew.
He wrote
wrong.
the New Testament.
There is nothing wrong with Jews. We've talked about this, but
No,
he had yet
Jews.
to convert.
At least
to
the good ones.
Christianity.
Yeah.
He had yet to convert to Christianity at that time.
There
Right.
was
Well, that's
no
why in the book of
Christianity.
Damascus. Well, there was a huge following of Christ, and that's when Nero was persecuting them then and throwing them for display and fun and games, having them eaten by lions and whatnot in the Colosseums that everybody could watch. So the Christians were being brutalized, and that's why when they looked on, the people and said, "Hey, why do this group of people, these Christians, looking down on them, saying they're so happy, they don't want for anything, they share everything they have, they eat together, they want for nothing? How come my kingdom, Rome, is not like that?" And that was one of the big arguments. Yes. What?
I need to ask the question: Did
Go ahead.
they persecute Christians before St. Paul?
Absolutely.
Were there
stoning
Christians before St. Paul?
Yes. Look at the stoning of Saint Stephen, and I don't use the word saint, but Stephen. The very first one we read about that was stoned to death was Stephen, another Christian that was leading, the people, saying, "Hey, our Lord was right here. We crucified him." There's many of them, and
What
they
year
kept
was
killing
that?
him.
What year was that? Yeah,
that would be in the book of Acts, so it's going to be right after the crucifixion. So
right after is 30 years. Is 30 years right after?
Probably.
Of what you mean? His death?
No, I mean 30 years after Christ. I mean that was when Paul started the Christian church.
Well, you know what's funny, JC, that you say that I have met gazillions of Catholics who are, whether family or friends or online now, who claim that that's when Paul started the Catholic Church. And I say, no, he started the church.
Universalism, right?
And wait, didn't he just say we're 3 or more gather, or 2 or more gather?
That's right.
Like that? He said that.
It's a church. You don't have to. I'm not hurt by these big ornate buildings, but he said just you could show up at a rock. There's a church 10 miles from me. It has a building across the old wagon trail now, which is a paved street, that is out like the original church in 1753 was in between 3 massive boulders on a hill.
Okay.
And that's where people met. right? It didn't have to do with a building. It didn't have to do with anything. It's
Yeah,
just
just
where
three
Correct.
bolo
Yeah.
on a hill. Yeah.
people met. That's where they knew to go on Sunday morning with their families. In the revolution time of America, and they would show up on Sunday in their horse wagons and have church at a
And
Presbyterian
worship the
separate
Christ. Yeah.
church. Yeah, they worshiped Christ. They sang hymns. They did their prayers. They did everything you would expect out of a church. There was no rock band at the time because rock didn't get good until the 1960s.
Right. And
Yeah.
they clearly never ran out of coffee and donuts like all the mainline churches are running out today, because
That is very true. Yeah.
all these
Sorry.
protesters are out foraging for coffee and donuts. You can't convince me otherwise.
No, that's more accurate. I want to get back to that argument between Peter and Paul because that's a great divide that I find amusing. Because Catholics and the Latin, and you have the Protestants and the Greek, two different languages, two different cultures, a great divide. And I think you'll find, well, I am pro Greek. Everything about me is more Greek oriented than Latin. I'm not a Latin fan. I'll say Hydra rather than Aqua any day because I'm more Greek based because I'm Protestant, where Catholics are more, that language of, there's so many of those.
Romance
I,
language,
I
Edward.
guess
Latin
that's true. Yeah.
romance. Yeah.
So we are just not really a part of that culture. We're different. We go directly to our Lord, where they, put the middleman in there, worshiping and bowing down before this guy that they call a pope or a cardinal or whoever is ruling over them. They've given up their rights, their freedoms to this person or this church, where we haven't. Ours are very much, free men because of Christ, where they're not. They're locked into the church or locked down under the church, and whatever it says they do. And it's throw God or Jesus out the window. The church comes first, and then Jesus and God later. They got it all upside down, and that's where our governments. By the way, that's a good show Tuesday coming up, boys, where I'm going to go into detail about how we got our governments upside down, where God is at the bottom and it was at the top to begin with. The whole country was founded on God, and now he's at the bottom and we worship government. If we could just have the right government now, the right one will change everything. I'll be so safe and so rich if we just got the right government. No, we can't be doing the
Oh,
government. We have to pray for the right
I love
government.
it when he's rolling, man. It's so awesome.
Who's that?
You.
You.
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
overtake everything,
this is
but
exactly why I wanted to wait on all four of you to be here for this,
Oh yeah.
because it's totally it's something that's not talked about often, and we really
Ever?
need to
Yeah.
dial into. I mean, we could go deep. We're not going to, but like we could go deep later into why the State Department wanted to eliminate Russian Orthodox Church. And then we could also explain that Russian Orthodox Church isn't Christian. Ukraine Orthodox Church isn't Christian. The
correct.
No.
Catholic Church isn't Christian.
Right.
We could just keep rolling, steamrolling through all of this. And it all brings me back to this conversation I had with a Catholic who posted a questionnaire on X that said, "Does everyone have inalienable rights given them to them by God?" And I said, "No, that's a trick question.
That
It's a trick
is a trick
question."
Well,
question.
yeah,
Well,
pretty
you
much
know,
is.
Paul, have
Nancy
you had a chance to
Pelosi.
think about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts, Paul. Does everybody on earth have inalienable
Well, let me let
right?
me let me help Paul out. Nancy Pelosi identified the spark of divinity in MS-13. So, Paul, it's all yours.
Jesus.
You know, I try real hard to not let the former law enforcement East Texas redneck out in me, but I got to tell you, not everybody has inalienable rights.
No.
It's part of our system. If you come here illegally, period,
Yeah.
you get jack shit. No. You get on the oldest Antonov Russian turboprop, and we fly you back to your miserable country where you can live in your miserable shithole with your miserable parents.
That's
And if
true.
you don't like that, at some point in time, we're going to make glass out of your country.
Oh,
Well,
good one.
Destination,
it should
destination, Port-au-Prince. Yeah.
should the shouldn't the answer be convert to Christ? And I can't force you to do it because of our Constitution. And assimilate. I can force you to assimilate because of our Constitution. If not, we will eject you from America.
But you know what, Sean? Why would you even have to do that? I mean, if you come to America or Canada, you're already
Look
expected.
at
Yeah,
Dearborn, Michigan, who just put
I know. I seen
Islamic
that.
writings on their police patches,
God.
on their cop.
Dear,
They're
dear Pornistan.
they're
And
not assimilating. I don't care what religion they have. They're not assimilating, and
No, they're
therefore
not.
they should be
That's
expelled. Can someone tell me I'm wrong?
I'm not
no,
going
No.
to tell
but
you you're
I
wrong.
would
I'm going to tell you
suggest
you're
that
right.
every time I hear Omar open her mouth, I like the idea of putting a security fence around Minneapolis, St. Paul, and calling it the Great Lakes Gulag, and just deport them all. I can't stand it.
Well, actually, Minnesota St. Paul was supposed to be an experiment, back, when it was first started
It was an
along those same
experiment in
lines. So
socialism.
Yeah.
yes, you're not far
Edward, you're
off. You
right.
might
It
as
was
well
an
put that.
experiment in socialism. They had
Yeah, so you
open
might as
air
well.
sewers in the late 1800s. They did everything as a socialist community. You're
Yep.
totally right that that's not where I was going, but you're
Yeah.
right.
No, no, I get that. I was just gonna say, yeah, I'm all for that debris fence up. JC was talking about, because I know a few cities that I live around that should have that same structure, just to keep them out of our lives, and they can be miserable on their
Listen, we
own.
put up the security fence. We send in Robo Gant and his posse, and we put them on those Russian turboprops, and we just send them to Port-au-Prince. That's what has to happen.
Yep.
So glad you guys are picking on Paul instead of me now.
That's all right. I'm gonna let up on you for the rest of this week anyway.
Well, we only have one more show outside of the
Yeah,
pop-up.
it's not a real time commitment, but I'm gonna be nice to Edward.
It's about time.
All right, so we're gonna just deport all the people, and everyone's gonna go, "You guys are assholes," and I'm gonna
Well,
go, "No, no, 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 no,
Yep.
we're not. We're not. Look, listen. In the 1920s, in the 1880s, in the 1840s, people came to America to assimilate because they saw opportunity, and they
yeah.
also saw freedom of religion. And that doesn't mean Muslim religion. That doesn't mean
Well,
Buddhist religion. That doesn't mean any of these other religions. They saw the freedom to worship Christ in the way they wanted, and that's part of
Right.
the assimilation.
but not
Right.
only
And they
that.
saw, and they knew they could either make or be poor as shit and die, but they wanted a chance to do that. And I saw this post. It was from a libertarian, to be clear.
It
That
wasn't
and
Nick.
I said,
That explains it.
that said, right? Does everybody have inalienable rights? And I said, no. That's a trick question,
Right.
and you're fucking with people. Stop.
Yeah, one more point that you have to make.
Nobody from Ethiopia or Somalia that they worship dogs and witches
Yeah, cows and everything.
has inalienable rights because
80.
they don't believe in Christ the King. How would they have inalienable rights?
Well,
And
it brings me
that's what pissed me off, and that's why I had to open this podcast.
Right.
every holiday that North America has, Christmas, Easter, you name them, they're all Christian holidays. No one else has that. The Jews and the Christians are the only ones that have these religious holidays. We have the Ramadan from the Islams to have that one special one, but other than that, they have
Sure.
nothing. I mean, it's
What
all
about
us. We
what
have
about
all.
what about what about Paul's favorite holiday, Kwanzaa?
What's that?
Really? Really?
Yeah, I mean,
You're gonna go
Ron,
down to
Ron
Juneteenth?
Karenga, Ron
You
Karenga
gonna
and the
do the
Cuban
Juneteenth thing
communists in
on me,
L.A.
bro?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa.
No, there's no such thing.
Paul was with the rooftop Koreans back when that happened. He was the captain.
The captain.
I've got some roof Koreans as followers. I always tell those guys how much I love them. I love those
Oh, they were
pictures, man.
incredible, weren't they?
That's
Incredible,
fantastic.
absolutely
That's
incredible.
an example for everyone.
No, it's true. I just laugh because I don't know if we're old fucks. If the younger generations realize what some of these people have done to both defend their nation and defend the freedom to either worship Christ or not worship Christ and just be left the fuck alone from government. And that's where you get the libertarian standpoint that comes in and says, yeah, there should be zero government and we can all just live free amongst each other. And I go, you guys are fucking morons.
Okay, okay.
Everybody dies that way. And
Yeah.
I mean, everybody.
I was on the last podcast with Nick for a little while
Oh,
as
that's
my
right.
ancient cell phone gave out and I needed to go back into my business and take care of things. But good Lord, the idea that we need to wait out the trannies until they figure out why they should have individual rights and then they'll be our allies, we'll all be dead. I mean,
And
I mean, the dude that you talk about utopian fantasy. Oh, those are our allies. Really? You think so? The
Mm.
next time somebody brings in a Kalishnikov or whatever to a school and blows the shit out of everybody who lied to them, those are our allies? Really, Nick? Yeah, I'm not sure the posse's coming, brother. I just,
no.
or
Well,
if we can wait long enough for him to figure it out.
I think that he's not looking at us having an enemy, as people go. I don't think he's incorporating, like Socrates said, if you don't account for evil, we're finished because one bad person can create so much damage in a just society that it'll wipe the whole thing right out. And he's not looking at the reality of the situation that that one bad guy that's allowed to float around throughout society creates all that damage. That's what's going on today, and there's all more than one, but they're getting paid handsomely to do that as well. He's not accounting for stuff like that. He thinks everybody's on just some happy-go-lucky page. We're all, in all this kumbaya,
I,
brotherly love. That's not reality.
I think he sees that there's I think he sees a little bit of the reality. Obviously, he's much younger than all of us. He's in his 30s. But that he believes that everybody will just self segregate amongst all of the land of the earth and do their own thing. And I said, and one of my comments
No
to
way.
him was, right, is that no, everybody will be conquered. Everybody will be conquered by more powerful people. It's been that way for, I don't
Mm.
know, you could say 5,000, you could say 12,000 years of human
Yeah.
beings. This is how it is. And the only way to get to a place where America has been, as imperfect as it is to have that maintenance of power, law, and order to stop people from being evil. Because
Right.
human
Right.
beings were born sinners, they were born evil, and they will do evil, even to people that are Christians. They don't care. They have no care. And it's talked about, Edward, in the Bible, how they do not care. They will do awful things. And
The liber
like this goes back to what I was saying about the chick's question online. Does everyone have an inalienable right? And I say no, they do not, because they're not looking towards Christ. They're looking away from Christ, and they're looking to destroy Christians.
Right.
Yep.
the
We
liber
started
the
off that way.
libertarian the libertarians drive me crazy.
Oh
And
God, me too.
here's the question that they can never comprehend, will never deal with. And it's this: you don't get the blessings of liberty unless you make them leave you alone.
Right.
They won't leave you alone unless you stand up and make them leave you alone. The way Reagan put it, there is a line you will not cross,
Mm-hmm.
and it's right here.
Yeah.
And if you're going to cross it, I'm going to shoot your ass. And I mean that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Isn't
Love
that
that.
why the Second Amendment came right after the First Amendment?
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't
it's the
care what you say.
guarantor.
I
It's the
don't care what you
guarantor of the
say,
other amendments.
but if you say it and you're going to tyranny me, then I'm going to 2A you.
Right. I
Yeah,
got
we'll shoot
backup.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a perfect setup, really, because you need that
Yeah.
backup.
We had Michael Brown, what, 10 miles from here, my boyhood home, Ferguson, all that, world famous. I bought my first gun. I'm on the second floor right here. I can see the end of my driveway.
Yeah.
This is my turret, man. You boys want to come up the driveway? You're going to leave a lot faster than you came.
Yep.
That's what it is.
We're up
Yep.
on a hill. We're half a mile off the road. And if you show up without calling, I got
You're
a
out.
30-30 Marlin. I'm putting in first 2 rounds in your radiator. If you keep coming,
We'll
you
put
know
the
what's
rest
going
of
to
them
happen.
in you. That's right.
Dude,
God,
dude, you got to get out the Henry repeating rifles. I just love that American brand of firearm. I
you
just
know
love
what?
it.
I love that whole thing myself, and I was just going to say, I don't know if you kept up, but I think JC, you sent me a text about our law enforcement saying that we just must comply, let the murderers and thieves break into our
Dude, you
house.
sent me a video on
You
on
got
China Talk.
Edward. Seriously, you guys
You
have
guys
a
are
mental illness.
fucked.
I
You're
know. I'm saying that's just incredible. The difference is that all of a sudden we slipped into this. I don't even know what kind of state you call it, where we're just going to just hang our car keys up at the door and just let them have them. And if they're going to beat us up or whatnot, we wish they would just go away. Of course, they say, but they're not going to. They're going to kill us. I mean, that's what they've been doing so far, and they
we
don't
we
even hold
must
still.
we must be weak. If we're weak, they'll see our goodness. Or
Oh,
as once again Reagan, who I'm obviously going to quote a few more times, if only we would lay down our weapons, our enemies would abandon their evil ways and learn to love us.
oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
How
where
we
did that ever come? It's
I'm
that way.
sorry. When has that ever happened?
never
Never.
Oh, okay.
fantasy land. Yeah.
I can't think of one time in history that the dominant culture has laid down their weapons and the insurgent state is just, you guys are great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, thanks.
We
you're
were wrong.
discounting,
Sorry.
JC, you're discounting the French. Because I,
Okay,
I went
I
to a
know.
I went to a gun sale one time and I saw this AK-47 that said French Army AK-47 dropped once, never fired.
Never fired. Here's the French symbol for charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to change the subject real quick because Paul brought it up. How did the French get Russian arms? Oh, wait, were the Russians the bad guys?
When?
They weren't. Everyone says they
Nope.
were.
but they're
They've
not
been trying to help us for 100 years. They just want to be part of the game.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's all they want to do is be part of the game. And every time the West says, no, Russia, China, what's the new country? Oh, North Korea. They
Oh
were
yeah.
meeting. This all happens because you say Russia bad. If you just say Russia can play in the game, no problems. Russia
yeah,
will play in the game. North Korea dies. China dies because all economic ties will disappear from the rest of the world to those two
yeah.
countries. And then Iran's another
Sean,
one that
Sean,
Russia plays
they,
ball with.
China has nothing to offer. They've
No,
got
I know.
a billion
I,
consumers or whatever, but they have no natural resources at all. They got none. I mean, they've got control of some rare earths, but that's not in their country. It's
And it's got
Afghanistan
enough.
and the other
correct.
places we've given to them.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't even have any trees hardly. They've cut all those down. The little they had. I mean, if you got a billion people, you're gonna have a lot of trees and minerals and natural
Edward
resources
says
Those,
they
we
just
don't
don't
have
those
a
have.
lot of
winters,
So
trees.
yeah,
those
there's
winters
that.
get cold in Busan. You gotta have firewood, Edward. Cut them
I
down.
know. That's probably what happened.
My
Holy
brother.
cow.
Uh,
Well, that's it. With your current government, if you don't repel them and declare independence, they're going to take all of your trees, Edward. They
we
will.
were just getting that.
I'm
You know
not.
what?
I'm not lying about this.
Or they're
No,
gonna
as a
burn
matter
them
of
on
fact,
purpose like we killed our chickens. Same thing.
they,
Yeah,
yeah, and they've been burning them on purpose. Our government has been burning them, and we got videos of the government burning our
I know
forests, starting
we
these
got all the
fires.
smoke down here all the time. What the hell are you guys doing up there?
Oh,
I
fuck
know.
yeah.
And we'll say, can you not just stop the burning the forest, government, please? But yep, they persist on burning the forest, and they have these stupid bans. You better not watch us be burning down our forest because we're going to put a nationwide ban on all the forests, and no one can go inside them and watch us burn down the forests, and that's what's going on. So yeah, it's just ridiculous. The whole thing's ridiculous.
$25,000 fine for hiking, right?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yes, that's the idiocy we got going on here now. Of course, they've since let that down and loose, so it's not being adhered to because they're not enforcing it because it was so stupid that they finally said, "Yeah, okay, yeah, that was a little over the
No,
top."
but
You
wait.
really? You think so?
So that brings me to James O'Keefe.
Like,
Formerly, right? No, no,
love
no.
that guy.
It brings me there because James O'Keefe, O'Keefe Media Group, OMG, or formerly Project Veritas, who has brought out some really great stuff. He went and did a video with a GoPro walking into the Canadian forest, didn't get arrested. We've talked about this a little bit before, but then, as I've thought about it, I'm going, wait, is now James O'Keefe running out of things to chase down? So he's going to other countries to get clickbait material? This is an honest question for me. And because
No, no,
I used to like.
it's actually a good question, and I want to tell you, it's one of the reasons why I'm sleeping well at night because what we're not even thinking about is the fact that we don't have to wake up in the morning and find out how our president is at war with us.
Oh, yeah, he's
And
fun.
for the
That's a good
last
point.
30 years, with the exception of, well, you know what? Let's just call it 17 to 20. It wasn't the president that was at war with us. It was the Congress that was at war with the president. And so it felt like an Obama or a Bush administration because every night you turn on CNN, bombshell, Russia revelations, Trump, Russia collusion, Russia. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know it's
All
true,
right.
isn't it? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And come on,
Whiskey
let's go with
Tango
it for a minute.
Foxtrot.
Trump gets out there and Mueller exonerates him in his addled state. And Trump pulls out the Game of Thrones meme and says, game over. and you didn't
Yep.
get me. And then the next day, the next week, here's Vindman and Charmella with the Ukrainian phone call. And it just went on and on and on. I mean,
Yep.
I felt like I was watching Gulliver's Travels on
No.
television as the
Whoa.
Lilliputians are knocking in all the little spikes and tying Gulliver down. And he's like, what's going on? And I mean, the guy couldn't even see straight. And half the guys in his administration were on the other team, including his vice president.
Oh, I know.
One to tie it together. They got Flynn out before they even started, the one guy who knew what was actually going on. And oh, he lied to the vice president. Well, how do you know that? How do you know that? Who talked to the vice president that established that Flynn lied? Obviously, it was Comey. I mean, you talk.
Let's go a bit farther. Who convinced Trump that Operation Warp Speed was a success?
Well, that would have to be Fauci,
Same old guys.
Deborah Birx.
He's being
Keep going,
unconvinced.
Edward. Keep going.
You think no? Not those two?
No, keep going. They're part
Keep
of
going.
it. Keep going.
Rachel Walensky.
Maybe. I can't think off the top of my head.
The whole CDC. It came out today
That's right.
again. Again, it's already been out there, but again, when they were trying to bully Bobby. Damn it, Bobby! It always reminds me of
Here they are.
that cartoon on Fox. Damn it, Bobby! They were all yelling at him because he's calling out how much money they've all received from Big Pharma in this hearing that was happening today. And he's
You
like,
guys,
no, I'm not
if you,
taking away vaccines from anybody. All I'm
no,
doing is taking them off the mandate list
Right.
for your children. That's it. You
if
guys
you
can
guys have a,
still you guys
if
can
you
still
guys have,
lock your children up and give them this. I'm
if you
not
guys have a
stopping
time
that.
capsule, if you guys have a time capsule, I'd like to get in it and go back in 2005. You could have taken every cent I had, wagering with me that a Kennedy would be, would be in a congressional hearing setting matters right. I would have
Right.
bet you every dollar I had that that could never happen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Ever. And
Wow.
there it was. I didn't even need to watch it. I knew what was going to happen. They were going to scream their heads off, and he was going to kill them. And that's exactly what he did.
Dude, and he did it in an incredible fashion. It was awesome. And I still would never vote for that guy for president. I
No,
totally agree that Trump put him in the right spot in the right job.
Yeah,
He's going to do awesome stuff during his tenure there.
you talk about art of the deal. That was that even more than the failed assassination attempt. That was the election right there.
Yeah.
Was bringing okay.
You have to
Edward,
add Elon. It was Elon and Kennedy.
this is for you, Edward.
no.
All you heard, suburban women. They've abandoned Trump. Or as Edward would say, libtard women. They've abandoned Trump. They don't like him. He's too brash. He's too this. He's too that.
It's
And
true.
Bobby Kennedy walks in and says, "You know what? If I give you all the smart ones."
He did that.
He
And he did.
absolutely did that.
And they're absolutely the most committed member of the base now. You can't touch that guy. And Cassidy and the rest of those rhino clowns, no, they can't touch a hair on his head. He's absolutely got them.
That's
And there's nothing Rhino Thune and the rest of those fucking clowns can do about it.
that's
And
fine.
I fucking
agree.
hate those guys. I mean, here, Thune, we haven't gotten these confirmations. What is wrong with you?
I know.
Anyway,
You know what? I just find that distinction between MAGA and Republicans is so important because there's so many, as you put it, rhinos,
Oh,
and you're right on the money with that one. Where MAGA, you already know right away if they stand with MAGA, they're not going to be a rhino or anything close to a libertarian or anything of the sorts. They're going to be America first, true patriots, which is important to discern that.
I need to dial it down a bit, let you guys talk. I will
No,
from this
no,
point
no,
forward. But I
no.
want to say one last thing. I want to say one last thing. What you're seeing from this Republican Congress is bitch McCommunist. Okay,
No, no,
they
no, Paul.
operate at
Well,
the
well,
speed.
well. Slow down, slow down. It's Paul Ryan. It's
Say,
Paul Ryan destroying Trump 2016. This is what we're watching again. And by the way, all of you fuckers who watch Fox News, Paul Ryan is on the board of directors of Fox News. Turn
hey,
it
Fox
off.
News.
Watch us.
Yeah, yeah.
Watch our podcast. Watch other podcasts. Stop watching Fox News. I will go back to you, JC. I needed to make that clear.
No, no, no. I mean, bitch McCommunist. It's the bitch McCommunist ethos. These pro forma sessions, all this delay bullshit, and Thune keeps coming out here and holding these pressers and going on about how, well, we got to figure out a way to work these rules so we get these nominations in. Recess the Senate, you rhino piece of shit.
I saw
Right?
your post on that earlier today. I didn't get a chance to comment
Great
on it,
post too. Love that.
but now that we're on the podcast,
Come on
I
now.
want to be I want to be clear about this. John Thune has done nothing but
Nothing.
stonewall the nominations. Nothing but stonewall the
Nothing.
nominations. I have to say that twice. And he is going to continue to do that while also saying publicly that he advocates for everyone to move through the nominations. It is Thune that is holding all of this up. It is, and you know what?
And Sean?
Here's one of the things that people don't get. You could fire people with the primary process. Nobody shows up to vote in the primaries.
No.
We need to
And
teach
look,
people. This podcast needs to teach people that to show up on that Tuesday in a February or a March or an August to fire people. We need to start teaching people that because it will feel so good
do you
when you
realize
fire somebody and remove them from office.
what a disgrace it is that bitch McCommunist is still in the Senate?
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
50 years of that clown. And, they put Thune in as speaker with, no vote allowed. And McCommunist is in charge of the rules. So when you see the rules, he's using the rules committee the way Pelosi used the rules committee in the House. And therefore, the votes never happen.
You could
But
afford
all the Democrat priorities always got passed, right, bitch?
you
I
could
mean,
afford a
yeah,
bill.
people wondered why I had that screen name, and that guy is an absolute traitor. And if you ask me my top five, it'd be Mayorkas, Garland, McCommunist, uh, a couple more. And I mean, after you finish the inauguration, just go over to the other side of the Capitol and let them swing, man. I mean, that's exactly what should have happened. Those people are traitors.
Yep.
Cocaine Match used to be fairly conservative until Trump walked down the golden elevator in 2015,
Even
16,
even when
16.
even when okay, remember even when they got the Sean, yes, kind of, but even in 2014 when the Republicans took the Senate, you may recall late
Mm.
in 13, all of a sudden the crumnibus,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
So the Republican Senate could not exert their spending priorities because we had a more than a 1 year continuing resolution to continue to fund Democrat spending priorities. And McCommunist was the Democrats' best friend, and he used every rule in the book. All this crap with the Senate parliamentarian, all this other bullshit. That's all him. That is him. And Fox bends the knee and loves him, and everybody says bitch is so great. He's an absolute
Can I?
traitor.
Can I? I know the viewership's low. Like some of their shows get maybe 1 million views, and that mostly would be Greg Gutfeld.
Yeah,
But most even the five is like 1 million, and there's 350 millions per census in America. Why the fuck do those 1 million people watch Fox News and take it so seriously? Because they're just as awful as all of the other opinion news
they're
networks,
worse.
and I don't
They're actually
understand.
worse.
Yeah, and I
If you
don't
want to
understand
know,
why.
if you want to know what Trump is actually doing, you're better off watching CNN or MSNBC because they'll
Mhm.
complain about it, but they'll actually tell you what he's doing. Fox won't even talk about
Fox has got so disappointing over the last, say, five,
it.
six,
No.
7 years,
We'll
even
have
more than that.
Massey on. We'll have
20
Massey on for another hit about his discharge petition about Epstein. I bet
Another
that's
guy
on
who can't
tonight.
What?
stand.
Can somebody tell me what that will produce? Because I
Nothing.
don't believe it will produce anything.
It's not even going to make it.
Wait, is Thomas Massey, I gotta ask this question, mad that there's a Trump PAC or political action committee that is well funded that is going to primary him, and now all of a sudden he wants to drag out unvetted Epstein quote unquote victims? They
Julie
can.
Swetnick. That's what this feels like. It's Julie Swetnick. This is Avenatti crap he's doing now.
Yeah, Avenatti. Remember that guy? Oh my God.
Well,
Yeah.
Thomas Massey, why does he give a shit? He's a world renowned engineer. He's a world renowned. Hold on, I know you're gonna all go fuck you, but he's a world renowned. He's well off at homesteading. He built a power plant out of a broken Tesla car. He could do. He could just live a good life. Why? Why now? It's been
Grandstanding.
20 years, 20 plus years that this story has been around, and there is no vetted other than the three, right? Guffrey and
If he wanted to get somewhere, he should absolutely call for an investigation of how Epstein got that plea deal in '08 in Florida.
Oh,
That's
five.
where the bodies are buried.
who's on it? There's nobody on it.
Nope, I don't care.
Yeah.
Paul, is there
Paul,
anybody, in your personal opinion, not and so that we keep ourselves legal, is there anybody on a list? Was Jeffrey Epstein a pimp? Because
Yeah,
I
no,
believe
no,
Jeffrey Epstein was not a pimp.
no. 13th was the deadline here in Texas, and if you weren't here by this, um, good lord.
So isn't this no, Paul? Real quick, isn't this just the next 3 year plot to smear Trump by
of
saying
course.
release the files? He's released the files. He's
Oh,
released
100%. Oh,
everything.
yeah. No, there's no doubt about that, Sean.
Right,
Yeah, the
and
a
that's
little
what it's gonna go. You're
little
gonna
meat
see
stick fuckers
Hakeem
that just
Jeffries. You're gonna see all of these people just say, "Release the files, Trump." He released all of them. Congress released them. They've been out for I can't remember 2006. Yeah, 2006. All of the information is out there. There is not anything that you want in the files, and you're never going to get it.
right.
Was awful things happening with Epstein?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
Was
this is where Paul and I agree. This is a dry well. It's a joke. And the fact is, if you're more worried about the elite girls that were involved with Epstein that were politically well connected than the 400,000 children that were sex trafficked at the southern border, then you're just a fucking phony.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Agreed. No. Yep.
I mean, who has human rights, Sean? Right?
Well, didn't we just
Yeah.
go through that?
Or do only elites have human rights? Is that where we're at?
No,
Right?
that's true. Heathens like us, we don't have anything like that. We
That's
we
right.
we can't even spell human.
True. No, that's true.
Much less cosplay as humans, right, Paul?
Well, you know what
I leave that to Canadians. That's how it works.
Yeah.
All those libtard women up there, the ones who care so much.
well, JC, because
No.
Yeah.
you're pretty plugged into American politics. Let me ask you this: why do you think the MAGA accounts online are so into this? I've got totally an opinion, and it involves money. But why do you think they keep bashing Trump for not releasing things that have already been released?
Clicks.
Eh?
Click. It's revenue. Well, once, Elon did a great thing with Twitter, buying it and opening it somewhat. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm shadow banned out the ass. I
Oh,
get
we all are.
two likes on a post or whatever. Unless Insurrection Barbie posts something, and then I'm lucky enough to be the first response. Then I get some action.
At least I finally
But
see you in the algorithm now. But yeah, go on.
yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, these people are all looking for a payday. I mean, cynical Publius is a guy that Paul would like. He's a combat veteran from Iraq. He told a touching story, and it sounded like Paul to me, about a lake community that couldn't that came back after the U.S. moved into Iraq and got rid of the bad guys and all that. And he said, "So at least we did some good for those people." And I even sent him a book. I thought it was very thoughtful. He's told me his monetization is down to 5% or something like that. And I mean, we're getting squashed. Well,
Yep.
that's what you would expect. I mean, Elon and Trump aren't bosom buddies right now, so the mega base is getting screwed, and so there's a scramble for money. And so Epstein is the easiest way to get clicks because everybody wants to hear about it, or the people that kind of know something happened, they want to see somebody fry. That's all. It's just it, it's easy instead of actually working and coming up with content, that somebody would want to read.
So true.
No, I totally agree. And there was also, I'll tell you guys about more of it offline, but we can totally share it here in a podcast about how I was monetized and got nuked by X. And I'm still not mad at X for doing it because they, dude, the amount of people that were just posting one line
Oh
or
God.
grifting posts, or do you trust Trump, or like these things, and a lot of people who maybe don't know, they're just not into the thing like we are, and they're like, they would respond to it, and we're all like, over the last 3-4 years that we've been doing this, we're all like, do you realize you're making them rich but just responding to them
Yep.
instead of responding to something more pertinent. Like,
I
yeah,
finally blocked the Krassensteins. I just couldn't stand it.
you're
Those couple of
awful.
dickless wonders. Good
Oh
God.
yeah.
Awful. All right, man, we made it an hour. I appreciate you all. You guys let me go through open border Catholics, and I hope we get some comments on this because look,
Sean, the communitarian impulse is almost a death wish.
it is.
You honestly cannot universalize that sort of theology to people who don't believe. You can't.
Oh, true.
Edward,
They see
Edward, do Catholics in general theologize open borders?
Well, yes, but there's a reason for
yes.
that. I don't even like the Red Cross, who is also on board with that same thing. Can't stand
The
that.
Red
Either.
Cross is Catholic.
What's that?
The Red Cross is Catholic.
Now you know.
I knew there was a reason I didn't trust them.
Uh huh. Yeah. The same thing. I don't trust that same, cross, although it's white and red background on the Swiss flag. The same reason. Traitors, liars, cheaters, and the whole works right there. So yeah, don't get me going
Edward,
on down that road.
Edward, don't get me wrong. It's not like the Protestants have acquitted themselves well. I mean, you see those Presbyterians out foraging for donuts at these anti-Trump rallies.
I
And
know. And a lot of churches, now there's a reason for that too. We can have a whole show about that one organization, that one statesman, that, and I forget the magazine now that he even comments in. Anyways, he was turning the whole church up at large against Trump all those years. That guy needs a good talking to as far as reality goes and what Christianity should really look like. But I don't want to get into that mess right now. Now
No,
his day's coming.
we gotta go. We gotta go. I appreciate everybody for
go
hanging out with me
Cowboys!
tonight on my
Go Cowboys!
Yeah.
Go Cowboys!
Go
Oh,
Cowboys.
oh,
I'm just going to
Cowboys.
be still listening. Go Cowboys!
And do they still have a male cheerleader? That's fucked up. I'm pretty sure the Cowboys are a male cheerleader.
Well, I suppose the Cowboys get the good this year. I really do.
Whatever. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for listening. We love you all.